So it's, have you got it?
E up, E up, E up.
No, it's not E, forget E. I know it sounds like, but if it's the northern greeting, it's the A up.
E up.
No, not sure that. So A up.
E up.
No, A up, A up, A up,
E up. The E up.
Too much, way too much.
What are you two talking about?
I was trying to get the name of the bloody car.
I'm giving Nick some northern lessons because it's the A up, isn't it?
You two really have got far too much time on your hands. I suggest we just leave Nicki to work out what this car is, because northern accents are definitely not her thing, but small German cars with weird punctuation, I think you'll do better, mate.
It's the E up. Right, let's get this started, because this is the E up. Now, VW have been, well, kind of half-heartedly selling an electric version of its up since way back in 2014. But it is now getting serious, because for this 2020 model, the battery capacity has almost doubled, the performance has improved, and unbelievably, the price has actually been dropped. Best of both worlds there. And as a result, we think this little VW now makes a lot of sense. But before we crack on, just a quick reminder to please subscribe to our wonderful YouTube channel. And then of course you get a notification when our next video drops with Ginny, with Wookie, with Ian Kardashian. If you haven't seen the e-course video, then it will all make sense.
The E-Up now has a theoretical range of around 160 miles before it needs a charge. And getting electricity into the battery is now quicker too, as the charging rate has been upgraded from 3 to 7 kilowatts, which means you get a full battery at home in under 4 hours. If you're not quite sure what 3 to 7 kilowatt means, then head to our EV dictionary on electrifying.com. But for now, let's ignore the electric bits, because what we like about the E-Up is its chunky styling, the compact dimensions and solid quality. You can see why this is such a popular small car.
Now, yes, of course, the car is small, very small, but actually it is surprisingly big inside. It really is. The boot is a decent size, it's nice and deep, and then of course you can fold the back seats down to get even more space in the back. So overall, small car on the outside, big on the inside.
And the back seats offer good head and legroom for a car of this size. That boxy roofline means you get full-size adults in the back in relative comfort. It is a strict four-seater though, and there are signs of cost-cutting with these hard plastics. The back windows don't roll down either, they just open like this, which slightly reminds me of being on a school coach.
Now, when you start exploring the front, you will find that what I'm gonna venture as far and call them luxuries that you wouldn't actually expect in a city car like this. There's climate control, for example, parking sensors and a lane keep assist system. And there's even a reversing camera, although I think I'm actually going to have to go to the opticians, get some glasses so that I can use it, because I mean, it's absolutely tiny. There are also a few signs that the Up has been around for a while. Like, look at this. I feel like this is quite an old-fashioned key, which I think is quite strange for an electric car. And also, check out this bad boy. Oh yeah, it's an actual real proper handbrake, which actually I quite like. It's a kind of a little odd to the old in a forward-thinking car, and it's nice to have a bit of familiarity. I think one of my favourite parts of the car has to be the sat-nav screen. I mean, the lack of the sat-nav screen. No, this is genuine, because obviously most cars these days have a display for the navigation, stereo, charging, everything. But first of all, well, it quickly becomes out of date. And second of all, the navigation system never works. It always wants to take you on the longest route possible, which drives me absolutely mad. Or of course, if you've got Apple Play, then you can sync up your phone. But I sometimes have issues with that. It's not very reliable. So I basically end up using Google Maps on my phone, which is just a faff at the end of the day. So what this car has done, rather than double up on the technology, the Up has the simplicity of a clip and connector on top of the dashboard, so you can actually mount your smartphone and it's not going to fall on the floor halfway through your journey. So I do think that's brilliant. There is also a special VW app to help with navigation and battery management. So I think that this actually makes good sense. And it also means that the price is a bit cheaper, and I hope that other car makers follow suit.
If you looked at the app, it would tell you that you could get from Leeds to London in just one hit, or perhaps get through a week of commuting without needing to plug in.
It could make the app a realistic proposition to drivers who don't have off-street parking. You know, perhaps if you're driving all week and then you can charge at the weekends when you're going to the supermarket or shopping centre, or one of the charging points that are increasingly popping up in places like McDonald's. Although there is a point to note that it does actually take about an hour to charge on a rapid charger, because it only takes a feed of 40 kilowatts, which probably gives you a bit too much time at McDonald's to eat a couple of bacon double cheeseburgers, you know, maybe a chocolate donut and a chocolate milkshake. Maybe that's not such a bad thing.
Being a small car, the Up is of course most at home in the city, where its electric motor gives it a real punch away from standstill. It's perfectly comfortable over urban potholes and speed bumps too, and the lovely light steering makes it nice and easy to thread into gaps and parking spaces.
If you venture further afield and onto the open road, well, the Up doesn't feel quite as at home, but it does manage to keep up with the other traffic. It has a whopping top speed of 81 miles per hour. Of course, that is to preserve the battery life, but it also means you're very unlikely to get a speeding ticket on the motorway, which must be a bonus. Now, whichever road you're on, the E-Up is also surprisingly comfortable, considering the size, and I think this sort of boxy bodywork does a pretty neat job of accommodating your average size adult and luggage of cars of a similar size. School runs, shopping trips, no problem, unless of course perhaps your teenagers have become particularly tall and lanky or taken up the double bass. Good luck. I've got things like push chairs and scooters and so much paraphernalia you wouldn't believe to consider, which does make it a little bit trickier.
Hey up, Nick.
Oh God,
I'm not going to do
she's
it.
at it again.
I'll leave it. What do you think?
I really like the E-Up. It is a compact city car. It does what it says on the tin. However, I am worried for VW because you've got sister companies, Skoda and SEAT, with the Citigo and the Me, which are identical cars but for less money. And I think we're starting to see this sector becoming really overcrowded.
Absolutely. If you think when I first drove this back in 2014, it was this car, there was the Zoe, Nissan Leaf, and that was really it. And you look recently at the cars that we've reviewed. We've driven Mini Electric, you and Mux did the Peugeot E28 and the Corsa E. Like you say, it's a crowded marketplace, and those cars are not much more expensive.
No, exactly. You can spend maybe the electric Mini 20% more, but you're getting so much more car for that. So basically the summary is there's a lot to choose from. So you guys are going to have to do your homework, but fortunately we've got lots of car reviews for you to watch, so good luck.
If you like the look of the E-Up, then you should probably have a look at Tom's video of the Renault Zoe. And in the meantime, please do subscribe, and then you get a notification when our latest video lands.